Welcome back to the podcast, Philip. And today, we're going deep, into this world of electric vehicles.
Okay.
And specifically, we're tackling this pretty important concern, the safety of those lithium-ion batteries.
Right, yeah.
We're going to examine all the risks associated with them. And I think most importantly, we're going to, dive into the danger of thermal runaway.
Yeah.
Which leads to those scary EV fires. And then we're going to explore a really intriguing solution that Stellantis has come up with.
Yep.
An innovative exhaust system that can actually vent those flammable gases before they build up.
Interesting.
And reduce the risks of those fires.
Yeah, that's a really timely topic, with everyone going to EVs.
Yeah.
While those incidents are statistically rare, the potential for lithium-ion battery fires is definitely a valid concern that needs addressing.
For those who might not be familiar with this thermal runaway, it's a chain reaction that happens when a battery overheats or it gets damaged, or sometimes even overcharged.
Yeah.
And, it releases these flammable gases, and if they ignite, it can be a huge problem.
A big fire.
A fire or even an explosion.
Yeah. And it's really hard to put out.
It is.
A regular fire extinguisher doesn't really work on a lithium-ion battery fire.
Right.
So that's why I think that Stellantis is taking this proactive approach to prevent them from even happening in the first place.
Yeah.
It's really smart.
So how does it work?
So basically just imagine like a network of conduits inside the EV that are constantly monitoring the battery's temperature.
Okay.
And if they sense any overheating, those conduits, they're like a safety valve.
Okay.
They vent the flammable gases outside the vehicle before they can ignite.
So it's almost like a controlled release, taking all the danger away from the car and the passengers.
Exactly. And what's so clever is that the patent even includes this mechanism to treat those gases before they're released. Kind of like a catalytic converter in a gasoline car.
That's smart.
To minimize the impact on the environment.
So it's not just about safety.
Right.
It's also about, the environment as well.
It's thinking about everything.
That's great. And I was thinking about this in terms of how it works with the BMS.
Oh, yeah.
The battery management system that's already in all these EVs.
It's like adding an extra layer of protection, especially for those batteries like LFP, which they're considered safer.
Right.
But even they can be vulnerable in extreme conditions.
So it's really peace of mind for EV drivers.
Exactly. It could become a new safety standard.
Yeah.
Like we have seatbelts in cars.
Yeah.
We could have this in every EV.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, how does this active venting system compare to what we have now?
Right.
These passive safety measures that are already in EVs.
I mean, it's a huge change.
Oh, fair.
From reacting to actually being proactive.
Okay.
Existing systems are mainly focused on containing a fire.
After it starts.
Yeah, but this new system is all about preventing the fire.
Okay.
Getting rid of those gases before they can even ignite.
So I feel like this could really change the public's perception of EVs.
Definitely.
Because those images of EVs catching fire?
Oh, yeah.
Even though they're rare, they scare people.
It's scary. Yeah.
And this technology could address that.
Absolutely. It's about trust. Building trust.
Yeah.
And if people feel safe, they're much more likely to consider an electric vehicle.
And, based on what we've talked about so far, it seems like Stellantis is, taking a very careful approach.
Yeah.
Thinking about safety and the environmental impact.
Yeah, definitely a holistic approach.
I like that this is so insightful.
Oh, good.
It's a lot to unpack, but before we do that, I just want to remind our listeners.
Yes.
If you're enjoying this deep dive into EV technology, make sure you subscribe to our channel and help us get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
We'd love that.
We would love that.
Please subscribe.
We'll be right back with more after a short break. Okay, so we've talked about all the safety benefits and, how people might see this new technology.
Right.
But what about, what this could mean for the whole EV industry?
Yeah.
Could this exhaust system actually, change how they develop batteries in the future?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's possible with this system in place to, handle those risks of thermal runaway.
Yeah.
Battery makers, they might feel more confident, to explore new chemistries, new designs.
Right.
Maybe even ones with higher energy density.
That's really interesting because we always hear about this race for better batteries.
Right.
Longer range, faster charging. Could this be the key to unlocking those advancements?
It could be. Just imagine if we weren't so worried about thermal runaways anymore.
Right.
It could lead to batteries that store way more energy. And that means EVs that can go so much farther on just one charge.
And that would change the whole EV world, right?
Exactly.
Faster charging, longer ranges. It could solve some of the biggest problems that are stopping people from buying EVs.
Totally. It could be like a catalyst for making EVs better, not just safer, but more efficient and practical for everyone.
So we're talking about a huge shift here.
Yeah.
But with any new technology, there's got to be challenges, right?
Oh, for sure.
What are some of the hurdles that Stellantis might face to bring this to market?
Well, one big thing is complexity. I mean, adding the system, it makes the car more complicated to build, and that could mean higher production costs.
And that cost goes to the buyer, right?
Unfortunately. Yeah, it could make EVs even more expensive.
Yeah.
Especially right now when we're trying to make them affordable.
For everyone.
Yeah, for everyone, exactly.
What about maintenance?
Oh, that's another thing. I mean, this system would need regular checkups, to make sure it's working, right? And that could add to the cost of owning an EV.
And I was thinking about the weight, too.
Yeah, sure.
EVs are already pretty heavy with those big battery packs.
Right.
Adding this system would make it even heavier.
It could.
And that could affect, how well the car performs.
And the range, potentially.
And the range, yeah. So it's a balancing act.
It is.
Between safety, cost, performance.
And, of course, reliability. Yeah. We need to make sure it actually works. Lots of testing before this can be everywhere.
So it sounds like there's a lot of work to do.
There is.
But the benefits could be huge.
It could.
This could really be a game changer.
I think so.
It's great to see Stellantis pushing the limits, and really trying to find ways to make EVs safer.
Absolutely. It's exciting.
Before we go on to our final thoughts, I just want to remind our listeners.
Yes.
If you're enjoying this deep dive, consider subscribing to our channel on YouTube.
Yes, please.
Help us reach 1,000 subscribers.
We would really appreciate that.
We would love that. It's pretty clear that, this new exhaust system from Stellantis could really change how we think about EV safety. But it also kind of makes you think about the bigger picture,
Does.
The future of electric vehicles.
Right, where are we going with all this?
Exactly, because battery technology is changing so fast.
Yeah.
And now we have these new safety features like this one.
It seems like EVs are only going to get safer.
Yeah.
But also way better and more efficient.
And as we move towards that future, I think this really shows how important it is to listen to what people are worried about.
Totally. I mean, if people don't feel safe, they're not going to buy EVs.
They're not going to buy them. And this is a good example of, actually giving people a solution.
A real solution.
To help them feel more comfortable with electric vehicles.
It's about building that trust.
Exactly. Yeah. And, it's exciting to see how this whole industry is changing.
Yes.
And companies like Stellantis are really pushing the limits.
Yeah. It's amazing to see what they're coming up with.
It really is. It shows, how much work and creativity is going into making electric vehicles a real option for everyone.
It's not just about the cars themselves. Right. It's the whole ecosystem.
The whole thing. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Stellantis's innovative exhaust system.
It's been fascinating.
It has been. I feel like I'm walking away feeling really optimistic.
You too.
About the future of EVs.
Yeah, the future is bright.
It really is. And it's innovations like this that are going to create a cleaner, safer, and more sustainable way for us to get around.
And hey, if you're as excited about the future of EVs as we are, make sure you subscribe to Le Podcast de Philippe on YouTube.
Right.
And help us hit that 1,000 subscriber mark.
Yes, please.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep those wheels turning.